start the recording and I will share with you guys so that this is for your reference. Okay, so computer programming language is the language through which you can communicate with the computer. The way I'm talking to you in English. Programming languages is for computers to make sense. If I talk to computer in English, it will not understand. So I have to talk to computer in the language in which it understands. So Python is one of the programming languages which we have. And little bit background about Python. So he is the creator of Python. His name is Guido van Rossum. He has created Python in about 30 years back, and he has named this programming language Python not against the snake. Python is also the name of the snake, but he has named it his right, just a second. Yeah, he has named Python because he was fond of a very popular English comedy show called Monty Python's Flying Circus. So these programmers in those days, they were fond of only two things. One was this show, Monty Python's Flying Circus. It was a comedy show, and second thing they were fond of was pizza. So then they actually just named this programming language. He came up with this programming language, and then he named it Python after this show. But yeah, even though it is named after a show, but still you can see that no, there is a logo there. Python logo is there. Uh, there are two snakes in this, and then even no, so there's little bit of elements from snake, but it's really not snake. After which this gentleman named this programming language. Python is an open source. So what do you understand by open source?
Anyone can use it.
Okay, that's a very good thought.
So
Anyone can
like,
use it.
basically Python, if you like share it with if you share it with anyone, they can also use it, unlike some other languages.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, good responses. Uh, but the accurate response is that this open source is made of two words, open and source. Now, source means source code. Even though Python is a programming language, it basically has lots and lots of code, which makes it a programming language. So Python programming language has the programming language features are implemented using other program. And that program, there are various versions. So the version I'm talking to you, Python, that's actually implemented in C programming language. So even that is actually source code. So source comes from source code. Open means anybody can go and see that source code. So you can actually go to this URL and you can look how Python is built, how Python has been created. So all that source code is available at this location. And you can see that now, since it's open source, it's just not for you to see it, but open source also means that a lot of people can contribute to the development of Python. And that's why Python has become so popular, because developers have control, and then a lot of people can work together, and then the addition of the features is very fast in Python. You can see there are 1200 contributors, and these 1200 contributors, they are like experts, the experts coder. All of them are contributing to Python. So with open source, you can see the source and you can also contribute to it. When I'm saying contribution, it's not the money contribution which I'm talking about. I'm talking about the contribution with any bug fixes or any feature addition which you want to do. So those are the contributions you can do in open source programming language. Okay, so Python is one of them. Even Java these days, no, it has been made open source. You can even go and look at Java code. Okay, so now question to you is, what do you think about programming? Is creating I'm saying, is writing program is a complex activity, or it's a simple activity, it's an easy activity?
Well, it depends on which language are you using. Plus, also if you know like the basic, like if you know the functions, you know conditionals, you know like loops, then it's pretty easy. But if you have no knowledge about it, then you won't know what you're doing.
Okay, 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 good. Right. Okay. So, yeah, you rightly said which language you are using. Some languages are easy, some languages are difficult, and it also depends on what are you building. Okay, what are you making? What kind of software you are creating? So, can you tell me some examples of some software which you use on daily basis?
Google.
Google, very good. So, Google is, even though it's a website, but behind the scene, it's a search engine. Any other example of software? Anybody else? All of you can actually interact, those who are in the class and those who joined late. So I have Arna Gupta, who has joined late. So feel free to answer, feel free to ask questions. This is a very interactive class. So we will be answering your questions and I will be asking you a lot of questions, and feel free to respond and contribute to the discussion. Okay. So when you interact, then only you learn. Okay, but then only you learn. Okay, you cannot just listen everything and then you try to remember. When you question that, and you can question that only when you understand. Okay, so just give me some more examples of software. Parth has said that Google is one software. Absolutely
So
correct.
Firefox,
Firefox is also another software. So can you tell me
Uh,
what category of software is Firefox?
sir, I don't know.
it's a
Okay.
search engine.
Okay, Firefox is not a search engine, it's a browser. Okay, it's a browser, it's a web browser. Using that, you can browse the website. Okay, so then, so there are different type of softwares. Okay, so let's first write it. So I will just write some softwares. So Google, right? Google, then Firefox, right? So these are softwares. Give me more examples, everyone. Give me more examples. So we are
So,
surrounded by
what type
softwares.
of top? Uh,
Microsoft PowerPoint.
Yes, Office, right? All the Office suite, MS Office, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, all these are softwares. More examples.
there are some
Google Chrome.
softwares and IDEs.
There are IDEs. IDEs, that's what you said?
No, I'm like saying softwares can also be IDs. Like IDs is where you program. So like if
Yes,
you're talking about a software, it can be an IDE too.
absolutely correct. Even IDE is a software. Even IDE, which is Integrated Development Environment, is also software. What else? What other softwares? I'm sure most of you play games, right? Your mobile games, your video console games. Okay, even they are softwares. Even they are softwares. Then what else? What all?
Operating system.
Operating system. Excellent example. Operating system is also software, right? Uh, so can anybody tell me quickly what are the different operating systems which we have? Some names.
Windows.
Windows, excellent. So we have Windows, we have Mac, we have Linux. These are operating systems. Then we have more operating systems. We have mobile operating systems. Can anybody tell what are the mobile operating systems?
Android.
Android, Android,
Apple.
and then iOS, right? And then there are more. There is recently one more OS has come, which is called Chrome
Oh,
OS. Chrome OS. So Chrome is a Firefox, and Chrome are browsers as well. Browsers, web browsers, and then Chrome OS is a different software. It's an operating system, right? All these are different software. So you see that we're surrounded by softwares. What more? You have seen microwaves, right? Microwaves. Then you have TV units. Then you have your refrigerator, right? All these have some softwares inbuilt in it. Right now, if you go to refrigerator and then you just press some buttons and you see the digital interface, and all that digital interface is some software running. You can change the temperature of your refrigerator, right? All this software
Washing
is
machine, sir.
washing machine. Yes, washing machine. This is another software. These are called embedded systems or embedded software. Okay, so you see that our world is surrounded by softwares, right? We have tons and tons of softwares which we have with us, right? And yes, so okay. Right, so right, so these are, and then the softwares are different. So this, when we say these type of softwares, MS softwares, we say that this is application software. Okay, these are application softwares. Games is a game software. This is operating system. So there are different category of software. Now these softwares, we use different programming languages to build. Now my question, I was asking one question. Do you think creating these softwares is easy or difficult? Now think about it. If you have to create a software which is like Google search engine, do you think this will be,
Sir,
Not
it's
easy.
difficult.
it will be difficult? It will be very, very difficult. So if you think about, you have to create a skyscraper, 100 floors tall, right? 100 floors tall. Then you think that no, it will require heavy engineering, no, very high-fi engineering. But even making Google search engine kind of software will be even more difficult than even making this kind of no building. So anything which you are doing which applies, which requires a lot of engineering, there has to be a lot of thoughts which has to be done. uh, Even software development is a highest form of engineering. You create amazing stuff, you create apps, you create websites, right? So all these things require very high end engineering skills. Okay, so not only engineering skills, when I'm saying engineering skills, not only just knowing the syntax, but also how to design your software, how to create architecture of your software, right? All that is important. So there are some principles, also guiding principles, which is called Zen of Python. These are the guiding principles of software. There are 19 popular principles which tells you how you should write your code. So it says, beautiful is better than ugly. So ugly written code is not a good software. Nicely written code, which is easier to read and write, is actually preferred. Explicit is better than implicit. So these are some of the things which you will understand as and when you go. So explicit is this is an example of simple is better than complex. Okay, so now can you tell me what this program is doing? Can you tell me what is this program doing?
Um,
Can you,
Table of 7.
yes, it is printing table of 7. Now look at the code. Can you really understand this code? How, what is going on in this? Unless until you're very proficient in this code, you will not be able to understand.
Yeah, I know. It's basically like, so 7 is the constant, and then J, and then you're multiplying 7 into J. So J, you're giving it, so then J in range 1 to 11, basically that is how much it has to multiply. So you say J into 7 into J means 7 into 1, then you're saying range 1 to 11. So then it'll keep going. So 1, then it'll go 2, then it'll go 3, then it'll go 4. So whatever number you write between, like in the range, if you write it till like 100 also, then also it will keep going 7 into 80, 81, 82, it will keep going.
Yes, absolutely correct. There is one more principle which is being used here. It's called list comprehension. Can you see this? There's something called list comprehension which is going on, right? The syntax is list comprehension syntax, and then we are using this join. Okay, so you can, at a first look, it may not be very intuitive. If you are proficient a Python programmer, then maybe this may make sense, but it's not a good idea to write code like this. It's better that if you want to write table of 7, you can adopt this kind of code, and this code will also do the same thing. So these are some of the guiding principles which which you will start exploring, appreciating as and when you start building complex software. So this says simple is better than complex, complex is better than complicated. So these are the different ones. So the idea about why I'm telling you that no, this is all important is because building a sophisticated software is a complex engineering task. If you learn your programming fundamentals well, then you can actually build those softwares with much ease. Okay, so it's important to not only learn the syntax, but it's also important to learn how to build a good software. Okay, how to build good software. So in my career, I have built like hundreds of different systems, mobile games, websites, search engines, right? So I built servers. So I know that what all is required to really create this kind of thing. It requires high-end knowledge to uh, not only from the language perspective, but on language, on top of language, you have frameworks, and then even how do you use these frameworks so that you can lay out your computer software in a better way, so that not only it is efficient, it is performing well, but also you can improve it as the time goes. The software should be maintainable. It should be easy to maintain. If you have to add new features, it should be easy. And it's not that only you are the developer. There could be 10 different developers who are reading your code. So all of them should find it easier to do it. Okay. Okay, great. So now we will actually look into the top programming languages. And so we can see that no, Python is the #1 programming language in the world. And almost like 30% people are using this programming language. Okay, Python. So, so why do you think Python has become so popular? Any thoughts?
Because like if you only know Python, you can make many things independently, and unlike languages like C sharp, like Java, JavaScript, you need to like attach them with something like HTML and all. So only then you can make something out of it. But Python, like with Python you can make a whole app. With Python you can make a whole game. You don't need to add any other language.
Okay, okay. So first part, you are correct, Parth, when you're saying that with Python you can do many things. Yes, Python is a general purpose programming language. Okay, which means it has applications in lot of areas, lots and lots of areas. But if you have to do something meaningful, just Python is not enough. Python forms the basic. It's like if you want to write a book, right? If you want to write a book, not only you should know English well, or whatever language you want to write in that, but you should have a very strong command in English, but also you should have knowledge to write that book about the domain or about the industry, about the content which you want to write the book. Okay, so English is important, the knowledge, and also you should know how to structure your book. So a lot of things are there. So Python is like your programming language. It is like English. So that sets a base. But if you want to do anything more than that, like for example, if you want to build apps using Python, then you will have to use mobile frameworks to build apps. If you want to build websites, then there are better frameworks available called Django, Flask, right? These things are available using which you can create things which are there. Python, right? For game development, you will have to use some libraries of Python,
You
right?
can also put Node.js.
We can also do, go
I'm
ahead,
saying we can also use Node.js.
Node.js. Okay, Node.js. Yeah. Node.js as a server, we can use that. Python is also, so that is the application. So what I'm saying is, yeah, Python is a general purpose programming language, and that is one of the reasons why it is so popular. Can you think about other reasons why Python has become so popular? And if I show you the trending graph, you see that in 2005, Python was just like somewhere around 4%. 4% people or developers in the world were using Python. But now slowly and steadily it has increased, right? It has become #1 programming language, right? So what are the reasons which contributes? Why do you think Python is becoming popular and popular? And you can always check the popularity if you go to this website. You can always click on this and you can check on of the popularity. You see that the Python is still number 1, and Java is number 2, JavaScript is number 3. C++ popularity is increasing. Do you know why C and C++ popularity is increasing?
I
Because,
know why Python is increasing.
okay, yeah. So we will come to Python also, but C++ popularity is increasing because of robotics, because of embedded systems. Now a lot of people are getting into robotics and embedded systems. That's why people are learning more, because for robotics, C++ is the default choice for programming, right? So because that's super efficient. C# is going
True.
down. Yeah, and then similarly, you can see that there are 27 different programming languages which are significant, right? Which people are there. So all these programming languages are there. Now you can always check. You can go to this PYPL website and you can find know what is the ranking of the programming languages, right? So coming to back to Python, so Python is used at various places. That's absolutely correct. What are the other reasons why you think Python is popular?
Sir,
Yes.
in the previous slide you told that Python was an open source. Is it
Yes,
because of that?
that's another very important reason why Python is popular, because also it is open source. People can look at this, not only look at the code, but they can contribute, they can fix their bugs, or if they're getting encountering some issues, they can actually find the reason why, and then they can also contribute with features, bug fixes. They can do all that. And since it is open source, it is also like no kind of the license is also free. Python is free to use. You can use for any purpose. You don't have to pay license fee to build applications using Python. Okay, so that is those are the two reasons. Other reason, can anybody else throw some light? Can you take a
If
while?
we because
The platform
of
independent.
Okay, it is platform independent. Yes, it is platform. Even Java is platform independent, but Python has overtaken Java. Yes, and Parth, you were saying something?
And it
yeah
is
because
also easy to learn.
Easy to learn. That's absolutely correct. That is very important. One of the very important
Simple
reasons.
English we can use in that.
Yes, you cannot use like simple English, but English like syntax. It's very intuitive because it is English like syntax. It's very intuitive, it's easy to understand. And since it's intuitive and easy to understand, more and more people are adopting Python. Even people who are not from programming background, they're also adopting Python, like mathematicians, scientists, statisticians, all of them are adopting Python. Even doctors, medical professionals, they're adopting Python, and then they're using in their scientific researches in number analysis. Okay, so that's why, because it is easy, intuitive, a lot of people are using it. And now a lot of people are using it. A lot of libraries are being built. A lot of people are contributing to this community, and that's why Python is becoming more and more and more important.
so
Yes.
also we can say that Python has a big data because like it's helped in cloud computing solutions and in
Okay.
data science.
And in data science, that's what you said.
Yeah, like it
Excellent.
can also be used for ML and AI systems.
Yes, that is actually the primary reason now why Python has excelled to number 1. All this was true. All this was true, whatever we had discussed. All this was true, but Python was still not number 1. But now the most no hot topic in the world is artificial intelligence. And all we are looking things which are becoming reality, things which we did not even thought possible is becoming reality. Like for example, conversation, right? Virtual assistant, they have become so powerful. You can easily talk to Google Assistant or Siri, Alexa. They can understand your conversation very easily. Then we have self-driving car. That's already a reality in US. It's called Tesla, right? People can just sit and the car will drive on its own. It's if you think about it, it can be so scary that okay, I don't have a control on the steering, but the car is so much more efficient and that's all driven through artificial intelligence. So the whole world is behind artificial intelligence, and Python has a very rich library for artificial intelligence. The reason why Python has very rich library, because a lot of scientists were using Python, and they had added a lot of statistics libraries and to perform different scientific operations. And then Python has become actually very useful for artificial intelligence, and that's the reason Python popularity is just skyrocketing with as we go ahead. Okay, cool. So that's a very good responses, Parth. Well done. Okay, so there are different programming languages. All of them have different purpose. We will not discuss exactly in you may question that, okay, why do we need so many programming language? Now, every programming language have its own purpose. Can anybody tell me where exactly do you think JavaScript is used?
Sir, I guess in making games.
JavaScript primarily is not for games. You can use for game development, but
Website design.
So can I
website.
Website.
Yeah, yes, feel free to answer. So web development. So inherently, if you
so
look,
the main thing is like you can use a CSS and JS with HTML to like create very good websites.
yes, and you know what? Large extent, you cannot write code using code in the sense you cannot give any logic. You cannot uh, give any dynamic nature to HTML and CSS, because HTML and CSS, they are static. You really don't. HTML per se is not a programming language. For that same matter, CSS is also not a programming language. HTML is a markup language. It is used to do the web design. CSS is the styling style sheets. They are style sheet, cascading style sheet. This is to style your website. But the logic which you can provide, the logic can be to validate a form, or to move elements, or even to create games on web. For that you use JS. Okay, that's you use JS, and JS is also very popular, very good programming language which is there. So you see that JavaScript is predominantly used on web, and of course JavaScript is also used, as Path you said, is also used on Node.js. Node.js runs on server side. Okay, so that's also possible. But primary purpose of JavaScript is it's a use in web. Now, can you tell me what is the purpose of Swift, Objective-C, and Objective-C? Can
I
anybody?
don't use Swift or Objective-C, so I'm not sure.
Okay, yes. Anybody can tell where it is used? And I'm sure you use softwares built using Swift and Objective-C. Okay, so who has iPad or iPhone? Okay, so Apple software, which are iPad, iPhone, or Mac, they are built using Swift and Objective-C. Objective-C was older. Swift is the recent one. Okay, Swift is the recent one. So now these days, any game, iPhone game or iPhone application or Mac or iPad applications, you see all of them are built using Swift. Okay, so like that, different programming languages have different purpose. Okay, Python is predominantly, uh, even though it is used a lot in AI and game development, but it's predominantly used on web, on server side, on server. Now, server can be anything. We will quickly look into what is server in a bit. But yeah, these are the different programming languages, right? Just to give you some gist. Now, I just want to check upon your environment so that we can start writing some code. So can we just uh, test whether Python is installed properly on our computers or not? So if you are on Windows, you have to open the command prompt. So you can go to the search box, which is next to the Windows button, type CMD, open the command prompt. And once command prompt is open, you have to just type Python on that and hit enter and see if you're getting this kind of prompt, and it will also say that no Python 3.10 or something is there. So
Uh,
see,
no,
yeah,
shouldn't you do pip install Python? Like once you go to command prompt, shouldn't you do pip install Python?
no, Python to
Cause
install.
if your system still does not have Python, that can install it for you.
Okay, so pip comes with Python, so you cannot use pip without installing Python. Pip
I know,
installer,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, why don't you just do pip install
you cannot,
Python?
because when you have Windows, it will not have pip. It will not have pip on Windows. So you cannot say pip install Python. Okay. So when you install Python, then you
Oh,
get
yeah.
pip along with that. Okay. So you have to go to, you should have python.org. You would have gone there, and from there you would have downloaded Python. If you have done that, so that's just go to on Windows, go to your command prompt. Okay. Go to your command prompt and then you type Python on that and hit on command prompt, you hit enter, and then you can, so anybody who is on Windows can share your screen, and we can all see. I'm on Mac, so if I share, you will see my Mac interface. So whoever is on Windows, you can share your screen, and let's
Ah,
launch Python from. Okay, go ahead, Parth.
okay, fine.
Yes, so it is okay, excellent. So yeah, so Parth, why don't, okay, so you just type exit and bracket, come out of this. Okay, you can terminate. So you can just click on that and you can just search for CMD first. Yeah,
Oh, I
just
already have a shortcut for it.
yes, yes. Okay, good. So this is the command prompt. And that's where Parth is typing Python. And when he has typed and he's hit enter, you can see he's saying Python 3.10.2 is installed. And then he is getting a Python prompt. He has a Python prompt there. Okay. So all of you who are on Windows should be able to reach on to this. And yeah, this will not work. This will work on the command prompt. Yes. So
Yeah, I made a mistake.
yes, no problem. I will share my screen. So if you have got the command prompt, then it will look something like, so if you are on Mac, so anybody on Mac? Okay. So if you're on Mac, once I open my terminal window, this is something which looks like command. So I will type Python. So on Windows, you have to type Python, but on my computer, I have Python 2 also installed. So I will type Python 3. And when I hit enter, you see that I have this Python 3 available on my computer. Okay. And now you can see that these are the three prompts which are there, which means Python console is there. And this is where I can write some lines of code. When you see that I'm saying 3 plus 5 and it's giving me answer as 8. If I say 8 plus 10 is giving me answer as 18. So I can do small arithmetic operations. I can call some functions and I can welcome Python. Hello, Python. And it can actually welcome. So we are welcoming Python. So it can print, display some messages as well. So now I want to know who all could launch this. So I have seen a Parth, you could do it. How about others? Atria, have you been
Yes,
able to
sir.
launch it? So are you
Yes,
able to
sir.
run these commands?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. How about others? Sindhu, Smita, Dhanush, Swati.
Yes, sir, I can also.
Okay, so all of you, so yeah, so please respond. If your cameras are not on, please respond and let us know whether no things are working fine on your computer or not. Okay, so anybody having any trouble with no running these commands on Python console? So this is called Python console. Okay, so console, or you can say Python shell. Fine. So this is all there. So now I'm So since all of you have this window ready on you, let's write some basic program to write to create a small application. So we'll just small application, small calculator. So first of all, we will take some input from the user. Okay, so we will, or maybe without taking input, let's try to add some value. So I want to add 30 plus 40. Okay, so I have this, I'm storing this value 30 in X, and I'm storing value 40 in Y. And now I want to add these two values. So for that, I am using another placeholder. It's called variable, and I am going to type this command there. And you see that when I'm printing X, I'm able to get this 70. I can display also that sum of X comma Y is Z. I can say something like this, and you see that it's a sum of 30, 40 is 70. Okay, so we can write small single line code in this, as and when we write and when we hit enter, it will execute that line, one line of code, one line of instruction. Okay, so is everyone able to write this small program? All of you are able to write this program. Just quickly write this. Okay, so Dhanush, yes. Okay, Smita, yes. Okay, good. So two, uh, two, two people have done it. Well done.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay, great. Okay, how about Parth? You must be
So I
also
fixed
done.
it before only.
Okay, you have already done it. Okay, cool. Okay, super. So let's quickly analyze this. Okay, and before actually getting into this, now we think, let's see this program. Okay, what are we doing in this program? We're just adding two values. We are just adding two values. Okay, we are adding 30 and 40. But don't you think we can add this thing on paper and pen? Why do we need computer to do this kind of calculation? Why do we need computer? Why do we need Python to do this kind of calculation when we can do easily on pen and paper, 30 plus 40? So tell me, okay, what is
Complex number we can't do.
okay, so if it is complex number, we cannot do. So let's say if we have this 5 plus 10, what is the response to this?
15.
15, yes. So now if we have complex number like 1 plus, so if we have to add this, do you think you will be able to add this number?
No, you can, but it take time.
Yes, you can. You can. Anything which computer can do, actually we can. Anything which computer can do, we can. We can add this. Can't we add this? We can add. We can very well add it. It will take a little bit of time, but yeah, we will very well be able to add it, right? So if we can add it, if we can do all this to get ourselves, why do we need computer? So somebody said we cannot do complex calculation, but I've just proved it. We can do complex calculation. We can do addition. We know that addition, right? So why do we need computer?
The computer do it fast.
Computer will do it fast. Excellent.
Computer is doing fast.
Computer will do it fast. Okay, so now tell me what is the answer to this question?
25.
25. Yes, you were almost as fast as computer. Now tell me what is the answer to this question? This into this. Tell me what is the answer to this question?
God
Now,
knows.
yeah, we don't know. And even if we try to do it with pen and paper, probably it may take a couple of days.
It take like 10 minutes.
It will take 10 minutes to do in pen and paper.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do this multiplication in 10 minutes on pen and paper. So you will be in Guinness book records if we can do that. So I think it will take at least 24 hours to do this kind of calculation. And still we will not be sure whether this is correct or not. This will be such a long calculation, right? But now let's see. Let's say we will take maybe 24 hours to do this. Now, how much time do you think computer is going to take?
0.1 second.
0.1 seconds. Yes, not even that. Fraction of second. That is the power of computer which we are talking about. Okay, that is the speed which we are talking about. That is like a massive superpower in our hand. We can do this amazing calculation, or we can execute this instruction amazingly fast. Okay, so in our mind, if we have to think, let's say if we are playing a chess game, or if we are doing some calculation, how many instructions do you think we can think in our mind in 1 second?
Not much.
Not much. Maybe 2 instructions, or maybe 3 instructions in 1 second. That's it, right? How many instruction do you think computer can think in 1 second?
Billions.
Excellent. Who answered that? Billions. Parth.
Part.
Right. It's billions. Billions of instruction. Any computer which you are using, probably you are using Intel. Okay, you're using Intel, maybe 2.5 gigahertz is the speed of your Intel chip, right? This 2.5 gigahertz means 2.5 billions transaction or instructions. So now don't think that no, this is just one instruction. It is combination of multiple instructions, okay? Because it will break it down. It will do small things. So it is probably combination of maybe 100, 150 instructions, because it has to break down all that. But still, right? Still 2.5 billion. How many billions are, how many millions in 1 billion? How many millions in 1 billion?
Wait.
How many?
Red.
10? Okay. Okay, anybody? Okay, there are thousand millions in 1 billion. And what is 1 million? What is 1 million?
10 lakh.
10 lakh. 10 lakh itself is a big number, right? 1 lakh itself is a big number. 1 lakh is equal to 1,000. 1,000, right? We in our mind are able to think about 2-3 transaction. Think about 1 lakh, 10 lakh. 1,000 million is 1 billion. 2.5 billion. This much instruction it can execute in 1 second. That is no less than a superpower. That is amazing speed in our hand. So computers are fantastic in doing that. And that is the reason all this computation we are able to perform like this. All this artificial intelligence is happening because of this computation power. Anyway, artificial intelligence leverages machine learning. That's another paradigm shift in the way we do, we work with computers to solve problems. But computation speed is amazingly fast. Now, let's say I want to add, so X is 30 and Y is 40. Now I want to add these two numbers and I should get result as 70. Hey, we are not getting 70, we are getting -10. Why are you getting -10?
Because you did X minus 1.
Yes, because I made a mistake, right? I gave a wrong instruction. I wanted to add, but instead I gave instruction for subtraction, right? But
Yeah.
was computer fast in doing that? Computer was very fast in doing that. So if we give wrong instruction to the computer, what will computer do?
Read that information.
Yeah, so computer will execute that wrong instruction at a very fast speed. Correct? Right? So now, so what is our job? Our job as a programmer. What is our job as a
Give
programmer?
proper codes to the computer.
Exactly. Very good. So we have to give right instructions. to the computer. If we give wrong instruction to the computer, computer is going to execute it incorrectly. So there is no magic happening. It's all instructions which we are giving, and computer is executing that at a very, very, very fast speed. So
Or if you give like a complex wrong instruction, then it will show you an error.
if I give complex, so do you think this is
I'm not saying this complex. I'm saying like you use some variables and all of that.
yeah, so if you give that, again is if you, that is basically incorrect syntax. That
Yeah.
is the problem with the language itself. Okay, language. So that is one kind of problem in which we are saying this is a syntax problem, which means if I start talking to you, Parth, like, hey Parth, you will not understand. That's gibberish. I'm talking to you. So if you give wrong instruction to the computer, it's a gibberish for it. It is a syntax error. Okay, but another type of error is the logic error. Okay, in which we want our robot to go left, but it is going right. That's a logic error. We have done some mistake. Computer will always execute your instructions always correctly. Whether those instructions are right or wrong, it is the instructions which computer will execute, that instruction only. It will not apply its mind. Its job is to just execute the transaction, those instructions very, very fast. Your job as programmer is always to be responsible to give right instructions, to write your program correctly. Okay, and that's a very important thing I want to tell you. You all are actually no, you all will start writing code, as because coding will be there everywhere. You have to start writing lots and lots of code, so you have to write correct code. Otherwise, there is a company, right? The company name is Boeing, right? It had an aircraft called 737 Max, and there was a software glitch because they had this sensor. There was a sensor data which it was not able to read correctly, and what, so they had this software. Okay, they had this software which was kind of an autopilot kind of thing. Okay, so it was some autopilot kind of thing. This software, so you have a plane which is flying like this. A plane is flying like this, and this software will try to turn the nose down, and try to turn the nose down. And because of this, there were 3 crashes. For the same reason, 3 crashes, and more than 1,000 people lost their job, their lives. 1,000 people. Okay, one small issue in the sensor, software is not able to read that properly, and it resulted with so many lives lost. That is the importance of giving right instructions to the computer. Okay, great. So now, since now we are very clear about this, right? Now we will actually start writing some program. Now to write program, we will have to open another software on your computer. It's called IDLE. So let's start IDLE. Okay, so idle is IDLE, idle. So this is what you have to start on your computer. So you have to go to your search box, type IDLE. You will see that coming up. You click on that, and you should get IDLE application open. So I am just opening on my computer, and so you see that I am getting this kind of console, right? So this is my idle application. It also provides me Python console. So I have a Python console here also, but I have this idle. So you should launch idle, and so you can execute Python command here, but also you can create new files. And now you can write your code there also. Now remember, we had written this code, x is equal to something, y. We wrote a code for calculation, but all is lost now because all this window is cleared. And if I use x, probably I will be able to retrieve, but that code is, I cannot see it anywhere, right? So that is the benefit. You can write the code in idle. For that matter, you can write the code in even in Notepad. We can execute even that. But idle gives you a good interface to write the code, and we can write the same calculator program here. So you can so you open this idle, and then you go and click on new file. Your new file will be opened. Now let's write some code. So x is equal to y, x is equal to 10, y is equal to 15, and we will just simply say sum equals, and we will just use another variable. I will explain you all this code. Sum equals z. Okay, so this is what we have to write. And now if you have written it, now to run this, you go to run prompt and say run module. Okay, so it will ask you to save the file. Save the file at some place on your computer, maybe on desktop or something. I will save the file in my user. Just name this file as calculator.py. .py is the extension for Python, and then you can click on save. This file will be executed. This file will be saved and executed. See, I'm seeing the response right here. Okay, and it is executed this file calculator.py, and I'm seeing the response here. So all of you should be able to do this. All of you should be able to execute this program. Now the advantage of this is now I can close this file and my program is actually saved. I can again go and just simply open it. I just navigate to the place where I'm storing my program. So it is right here, and I have this calculator.py. I can now simply open the file. So now my code is there on the computer. It's saved on the computer, which I can always open it. Okay, so this is how I can create my code and then execute it. Now I can write complicated code, and all that we can store it in the computer itself. Okay, so let's just do this. All of you do it and let me know if once you are done. So once you're done, let me know. So you have to write this and then you have to execute by going to option, no, run and run module. So this is what you have to do. Okay, so Parth is done. Dhanush is also done. Okay. How about others?
Done, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, so fine. We will actually take a quick break of 5 minutes because it's a 2-hour session. So we take one break midpoint, 5 minutes break, and we will come back and then we will understand this and then we will proceed further. Okay, and then we will actually do some of the interesting programs. Let's join back at 3:15 sharp. You don't have to exit the meeting. You can just go and come back, stretch yourself, drink water, use restroom. We will not be giving any other break. So just come back in 5 minutes.
Also, is the session till 4?
Okay, so now if you go to through the program line by line, so line number 1, as we said, it's an assignment statement. Even line number 2 is an assignment statement, and that's where we are assigning value of y to 15. Now line number 3, what is line number 3? Can anybody tell? Line number 3, what exactly is line number 3?
But basically adding the value stored in X and Y.
Excellent. So yeah, so it is basically an addition statement, addition, and then after that it's an assignment. Okay, so when computer is running this, it'll say line number 3. Oh, okay, so this is the line. So now this is an assignment statement. Okay, so I have to assign some value to Z. Okay, what is the value I have to assign? Oh, okay, so I have to first calculate this value. I have to first calculate this value and then I have to assign it to Z. So it will calculate this value and assign it to Z. Okay, so it is doing that. Now, this is the line which we use to display the output on the screen. Now, anyway, so we will be using that a lot in future, but just to let you know, this is called function. Okay, what is the function? Function is nothing but it will just do a functionality. It will have one functionality. Functionality means it will do one task for you. A function, one function will do always one task for you. So the function which we have here, and to identify a function, we know there's a bracket. There's a bracket which lets us identify that, okay, this is actually a, if you see this bracket, this is a function call. Do you see any bracket in these three lines? Okay, yeah, so there are none. So there are no function call happening in these three lines. Okay, but there's a function call happening in this line because there is a bracket there. Okay, so function will do one task for you. So in this case, print function is displaying, that's a task of print function. Okay, that's all what is happening in this program, and we are able to do it. So Python and like that, all the programming languages lets you do all the arithmetic operations, and arithmetic operators are, so we have seen plus for addition, then for subtraction we have this minus sign, also called hyphen, you can think about it. So minus sign is for subtraction. For multiplication we have a star. For division we have this slash. Okay, so these are the four basic operators in Python. And so what I want you all to use these operators and then write rest of the program. So the rest of the program is something which you have to write. You have to write the code for subtraction, and then so you can just leave x and y value as the same, and then you have to do subtraction. To do the subtraction, you have to say x minus y, and then you can reuse the same variable z, because we are doing the sum here. We have already printed the value of z, so same value we want to print it here, right? So same I'm saying same value which is stored in the variable, I'm printing it here. So this is the difference. Right, this is the difference. So we have printed the sum, we have printed the difference. This is how you can do the difference. Similarly, do the multiplication and division. So just do this and let me know once you complete it. So let me know once you complete it. Okay, so Dhanush, for you, multiplication is done. Dhanush, can you just paste your code in the chat window? Send it to me. Arna, is it done for you? Sindhu, Smita, Parth? Dhanush, send me your code on Zoom chat. All done?
So
Okay, Parth, done for you?
yeah.
Okay. So all of you are done with this? So it's very simple to write the multiplication. So multiplication is star, and then we can say product is equal to again Z, and for division we can do the same thing. Division, and then we can say x divided by y. Okay, so this is what we can do as in this calculator program. So when I'm running this, you see that I'm getting all this 4 values for sum, difference, product, and division. Okay, so these are the 4 basic operators. There are 3 more operators in arithmetic. Okay, so Atria, Atria, right? Product is done, division is done. Yes, absolutely correct. So yeah, so it's actually not really quotient. Quotient is always the integer
Yes, sir.
part. It's just the value of the division. Okay, it's a fractional value. Right. So we have other 3 operators in Python available to us. So we have this power operator. So power operator is you can raise any number to the power of something. So let's say I want to raise 3 to the power of 2. This means 3 into 3. This is a 3 square. So what is the value you expect?
9.
9. So this is, you can raise it to the power of 3. Now this question, 3 star star 3, what do you think is the value of this?
27.
Excellent. Yes, that's the right answer. Now the same power operator we can use for square root. So now if you may know that the square root is actually, you can raise any number to the power of half, it becomes a square root. Okay, so square root, if you have not studied in your school, that's okay, but square root is just the reverse of a square. Like a square, you do number into number. Square root is reverse. From number into number, you get the square root. So if you're raising 25 to the power of 0.5, what do you expect the answer? Okay, so all are silent. Parth and others, Sindhu, Arna, Dhanush. So you have to respond. You have to at least speak out. Okay, so this is basically you can use for square root. You can raise to any power, positive power, negative power, or even fractional power. Okay, so that is one. This is the 5th operator, which is basically we call it power operator. Okay, so like that you have these arithmetic operators, and then there are now you may question that, no, why do we need these arithmetic operators, all these arithmetic operators? The reason being, when you're creating applications, in some of the applications you may have this kind of requirement or this kind of calculation. So that's where you can use these operators, these language features you can use. It's like no, English is quite vast, but if you have to write one novel, you may not be using all of English. But if when you're writing some other kind of book, probably you will need no different portions of English. So Python is also like that. You have lots and lots of features. You have lots and lots of module. On some program, you will be using those features, and you'll be using those some of the modules to write those programs. So star star is for power operator. Then we have something called modulus operator. Okay, so anybody can tell me what modulus operator does?
Can you repeat?
What does modulus operator do?
Modulus operator. So basically, like the percentage symbol is called a modular operator. It basically returns the remainder after dividing,
Yes, you
after
can
only
also,
dividing.
excellent. You can also tell, say it as a remainder operator. Remainder operator. Okay. So all that you can do. So this will give you the remainder. So 7 when divided by 3, you get remainder as 1. Okay. So what will be the remainder if you use 8% 4? What will be the remainder?
0.
0. Excellent, because it's completely divisible, right? So this is the sixth arithmetic operator. Then there's one more which is called floor division. It's like extension of the division operators. Like if I divide 5 by 3, you get 1.66 value. But if I am using floor division, it is just going to floor the value, floor towards the nearest integer. So the nearest integer to 1.66, which is like flow. When we are saying floor, the nearest in the downward direction, so it will give me 1. Okay, so it is just going to floor, it will just going to remove the fractional part. So if I am saying uh, floor division 3, what do you think we will get? So if we, let's say we just divided by 3, we get 2.66, and if we are doing floor division, then we will be flooring the value. So what do you think we will get?
2.
2. Excellent. Yes. So see, these are the arithmetic operators. So these are some of the very few like language features. Now let's look into a bit about yeah. So like let's discuss about one more program called swapping of two numbers. Okay, so we have X and we have Y. So let's say we change the value to 45. So I have X and then I have Y. Now, if I want to swap the number, when I'm saying swapping, I want to change the number. So I want to change the number so that whatever, so I start with a value, and after when I've changed the number, then X value should have gone into Y, and whatever Y value was there should have gone into X. Okay, so the number should get interchanged. So to write this kind of program, how can we write this kind of program in which we want to interchange the numbers? So any thoughts, students? Or can you just, okay, you can actually come to your idle file, idle, open a new file, and then X is equal to 30 and Y is equal to 45. Okay, and then you have to write the code to swap. Okay, swap the numbers, and then when you run, so you can just save this file as .py, swap.py. This file will be saved, and when it is executing, anyway, I'm not printing anything. But before swapping, so I will just print before swapping the numbers. Okay, so I will just print X comma Y. So then you have to write the code for to swap the numbers, and then then we will write after swapping the numbers. And note that we will be printing X comma Y only, but in that now the number should have got interchanged. So now if I am writing this, if I am running this program, now you see that 30 and 45 becomes, is still 30 and 45 because we have not done the swapping. So we have to write the code to swap so that the value of X should become 45 and value of Y should become 30. So we have to do this program. So Students, can you, so I'm just sending you in the chat this program, and then you can fill in this value. I'm sure you just write this code and tell me how you are going to achieve this problem, how you're going to solve this problem. Dhanush, that's not the right way to swap. You're just printing in a different order. But we should continue to print x comma y, and we should get different value. So we have to swap the values. So how can we swap the values?
So we could, x is equal to y and y is equal to x.
Okay, so let's try that. X is equal y and y is equal to x. So do you all think this will work fine?
Sure.
Okay, so let's try that out. Do you see that? Is it working fine? The response is printed here.
Oh, if that is it, then x is equal to y, and then we'll keep 1 second.
Dhanush, that so x equal y is a comparison statement. So equal is a relational operator, so you cannot use for swapping. It is for checking the condition. It is for checking whether the value of x is equal to y or not.
Hmm.
Tell me, students. So what is happening in this line when we are doing this? So this, what kind of statement is this? What kind of line is this? This is an assignment statement. What are we? So what will happen is the value of y will actually go into value of x. So what is the value of y? Value of y was 45. Then x will also get the value of y, which is 45. So x will also, once this line is executed, x will also become 45, right? So once this line is executed, what is the value of x?
45.
45. And what is the value of y?
45.
45. Yes. Now if this line is executed, what are we saying? We are saying to y assign value of x, right? So what we are saying, assign 45 to 45 itself, right? So even though assignment will happen, but still y will become 45 only, right? Y will become 45 only. So
Then should we, so over here if x is equal to y, so now x has got 45, so then shouldn't we again do just x is equal to y, so then again like value of x will become
yeah, that's what we are doing, right? But understand how this working happens. So you have to execute the code line by line yourself. Okay, so now when we are executing, when we executed this, then x also becomes 45 and y is also 45. Correct? Whatever was original value of x is lost, isn't it? Whatever was the original value of x is lost. So what should we do so that the value of x is not lost? What should
So
we
should
do?
we reset?
Should we reset? I'm saying reset means to what value are you going to reset? That's what is my question. So let's say if this program was something where we were taking input from the user, we can take input. Now since you are using enter a number, okay, so similarly we can say now if the number is being taken, enter second number. If these two numbers are coming from the user, we don't know what the user is typing, so we really cannot reset the value of x to something else because we don't know beforehand. Okay, so we have to execute the swap. So what should we do? So if we are doing x is equal to y, you see that value of y is getting lost. Value of y is getting lost. So what should we do so that the value of y is not lost? The value of x is not lost. In others, Dhanush, Arna, Sindhu, any idea? Any idea what should we do? Parth, what should we do so that the value of x is not lost?
I was thinking.
Yes.
We can keep x as a constant and then swap the value of x with y.
If you keep a value of x constant, then we want to change the value of x also. No, we want to assign the value of y to x. So if we keep x constant, then we will not be able to change the value of x, but we want to assign the value of y to x. So what are we doing? We are simply doing what we want. So we have this x and y. We want that value of y should go into x and value of x should go to y and value of y should go into x. This is what we want to do. So how can we achieve this task? Because as soon as we are doing x is equal to y, which is this, whatever is assigned in y is assigned to x. If we do other way around, if we say y is equal to x, then in that case, value of y will be lost. Right? So what should we do? What should we do so that the original value is not lost? So when we executed this, you see that no, half of the swap did happen. Half of the swap did happen. X,
But then in the front part should be put y. No, that won't make difference.
yeah. So then both of
Then it will
them,
be the same thing only.
then yeah, it will be the same thing. Dhanush, that is not a right response. You will not be able to swap it like that. I think that code which you've written, Dhanush, that will end up throwing error.
Look, can you give a hint?
Okay, so hint is no, you will have to somehow store this value, x value, so that x value is not lost. That's the hint. You have to store the X value because you're assigning Y value to X. So whatever is original value of X is getting lost. So that means
No, no,
X.
no, wait. So wait, in the starting only if we do int x and int y.
Okay, it doesn't matter. In Python anyways is dynamic. Even if you say int, anyway, int like that is not supported. You can even say int, but still you can assign any type of variable. So in Python, you can assign any type of variable. It's not like Java. So you can change the type of the variable. So that's not a problem. Okay. But think about it. We have to store the value of X before we assign a value to X so that the value of X is not lost. How can we store value of X?
Hmm.
How can we store value of X?
I'm just trying to think.
Go ahead. Yes, yes. And you know all the concepts. There is no new concept which you have to think about. You know all the concepts which we have discussed in today's class. Okay. That's all you need.
Can I just try something else?
Yeah, yeah, you can try something.
I'm just trying one of my own codes.
Yeah, so
Let me just see if my thing works.
okay, sure. Yeah, so see this swap is happening half, right? 45, 45. Just think how you can preserve the value of X so that when you assign value of Y to X, whatever was the original value of X is not lost. So I will write something here. So we have to do something like this, right? Why can't we use something like this, right? And we assign the value of X to Z, and then we assign the value of Y to X. And then,
Right. I just got that one right now. When
okay,
you
you just got it. Okay, when I was,
Oh my god. I was thinking, what if we add another variable? And then I'm like,
yes,
we can add something.
exactly. So you have to use the third variable. So this is step 1, step 2, and step 3. So all of you just quickly write this code and see if the swap is working fine for you.
Man, I just remembered we can do that.
Yes, yes. Okay, students, so done. So let's write it together. Okay, so what should we do now? So what we want to, okay, so Dhanush is working for you. Good. So what we said, okay, let's use the third variable Z. So to Z, we first assign the value of X, isn't it? Right? And then our value of X is safe. X is stored in Z. And then we can assign the value of Y to X. Now, what should we do in step 3? What should we do in step 3?
Um, y, y is equal to z.
Yes, excellent, excellent. So Y is equal to Z, right? So because Z was holding original value of X, so now this value we can assign it to Y. Now if
Now
I
it
run
should work. So it's
this,
working for me too.
okay, excellent, well done. Uh, okay, so there is, okay, so we need to enter the values now. So there was double quotes missing because since it's a string, we'll just run this. Now you see it's asked me the number. Now I can give any number to it. Let's say I give 75 first number and second number I give 150. So before swapping 75, 150, and after swapping it is 150 and 75. Okay, so this is one of the ways of doing things in any programming language, but in Python it is super cool. So in Python you can simply say x comma y is equal to y comma x. Okay, you can simply do this to do the swapping, and now if I print, you'll see that the number is swapped again. So now if I run this, and I will say 75 and 150, now I see that numbers are swapped again. So we can just use this kind of this kind of statement and we can swap it. But this is coming from an underlying concept, a little bit advanced concept, through which it makes it very easy. And actually this is the Python way of doing things. Python way of doing things is precise, is small, condensed, but still understandable. Lesser code, but it's still meaningful code. Okay, that is what is Python style. So all these 3 lines of code can be replaced by just 1 line. Okay, so using this also we can do the swap. Okay, so this is the second way of doing the swap. There is one more way of doing the swap, but that is, we will discuss it later. Okay, so now see this problem, in this problem this program we are solving small problem of swapping 2 numbers. Like that you can have complex problems, you can create games. Now let's look at what all things we can actually do, or we will be doing in this course. So this course no, it gives you very good foundation about Python, and not only you learn about fundamentals, but you get to work on a lot of programs, you build a lot of applications in this short assignments and application, and also you build 2 projects. So this program covers introduction to Python, Python internals, then some tools, useful tools, then variables and blocks. Then we get into control flow mechanism, through which you can control the flow of execution of code. So you have if statements, then we also discuss about data types. There are different type of data in the world, right? So how do you manage different type of data in Python, like string, integer, boolean? Those are different data types. How do you do that? Then we look into loops. Loops are very interesting, where you can do things multiple times. So we have 2 type of loops, while loop and for loop. Once you're done this, you can create, now you can start creating some meaningful application. You can create some like small games, like number guessing game, in which computer will think of a number and you have to guess the number, and you can see that, no, in shortest time how can you guess a number. Then you can actually start doing little bit complicated programs, like calculating factorial of a number, prime number, finding whether a number is a prime number. Those kind of things you will start doing it. Then we deal with numbers, strings, boolean, none type, and all the strings are very useful in any programming, because any messaging, anything which you do, you deal a lot with the strings. When an email comes, you want to parse the email to extract meaning out of it. To website, you want to provide some information. That's all form of strings, which are combination of the words. So we do a very good discussion on strings, and then you build applications like kilometer mile converter, reverse string, finding unique words in a series of words. So then we start building our own functions. So no, we have used a couple of functions like input and print, but then we will start building our own user defined functions. Then operators, exception handling, then file handling. Using file handling, you can open any file on the computer and you can modify that file. And then you'll start building your first project, which is banking project. Then you will be learning, we will be doing deep dive on collections. Collections is no, storing multiple data in one variable. So there are different ways of doing it, in form of list, tuple, dictionary, and set. And then you have session on game development. Okay, so there are actually 8 classes and we'll be covering 12 topics in this. I'll just quickly show you what are the games which we build.
Sir, can I show you a game I'm working on? If
Yes,
it's
yes,
okay.
go ahead. I will just stop my share so you
Oh,
can.
now only? Okay, fine.
You want to show it now, or if you want to show it now,
I'll show it at the end of the class. You can continue.
okay, sure, sure, good. So let me just share, uh, and I will show you the game which we will be building. This will be actually the uh, last project. So before that, let's look at the full-fledged software which we will be building, which is called actually the bank project. So, and once you have built this software, you will have a very good idea about software development. Okay, so we are talking about a bank project. Okay, so this bank project is defined right here. So make a bank simple. So I will just execute Python 3, make a bank. And now you see that it's asking the account number, enter your account number. Okay, so I hope you're able to see this. Enter your account number. So I will write account number 10,000. This is manager's account number, and the password is 1234. And now you see it is able to authenticate manager and saying thank you for authentication, and it is asking for next set of commands which you want to do. So let's say we want to open a new account. So we will select one as an option. And let's say we open a account for Parth. Okay, so we have this account. So let's give a secret pin of Parth. Let's tell to everyone. So secret pin for Parth is, let's say, 5566. So let's put money 10,000 rupees or maybe 15,000 rupees in Parth's account. Okay, so now Parth's account has been created. Parth's account number is 66522. Pin we have to remember 5566. Let's log in again in this account, and this time we will provide Parth's account number, and we have provided this Parth's account number, and let's provide secret pin, and then we are able to log in, and it's saying thank you for authenticating yourself, Parth. Right, so it is able to detect, okay, this is the Parth credentials, and it's able to authenticate Parth. Let's see the balance which we had deposited, is that there in Parth's account or not. So we can check the balance by providing option number 4. So indeed the balance is there, 15,000 rupees. Let's withdraw some money. So we are trying to withdraw by providing option 2, and then we provide 2,000 rupees. Right, so it says a withdrawal successful. Remember to collect your cash. Let's check the balance again. And now you see that now it is remaining balance is 13,000. Let's try to deposit some more money. Okay, so let's deposit, let's say, another 10,000 in Parth's account. And now let's check the balance. Now you see it's 23,000, right? So we can do all this operation, and all this you will build, and then you will be persisting it also. Persisting means all this information, all these changes will be permanent on the computer. So even if I kind of exit this, log in back again, provides Parth account number, and log in with his PIN, check the balance, and you see that it is 23,000. So what all the changes we did is all persisted. Okay, so if you have gone to ATM, you would see similar kind of interface in which it is asking you your PIN number, it gives you options, and you can do perform. So you see that we are doing a lot of functionalities. We are displaying the value, we are giving options, we are doing credit, withdrawal, all that thing. How do you design software in a proper way so that all this works in a very proper manner, in easier manner? All this thing you will be actually learning and building in this course. So now let's exit, and then we have exited. Okay, now let's look at another project which you will be building. So you will be learning game development, and then you can build this thing. Now I'll tell you one of the cool projects which one of my student has built after learning game development in this class. So it's Dino Clone, Python 3, and game. Now you probably have seen this game playing on the browser. Okay, whenever you don't have internet, you see this game, but this game he has built using Python, and then you can jump over these cactus plants, right? And the speed increases, and you can actually go under this bird and then jump. And you see it's becoming difficult for me to play. It is becoming faster and faster. So this is something which he has built, and this is his game project. Okay, so cool. This time I could actually manage to get, okay, so I have hit, instead of jumping, I have just actually crashed into it. So this is one of the games which one of the student has built, but in the course you will learn how to build, you will know how to build, uh, we will actually take you through all this. So we will be building one, okay, so we have to go into Space Invader, Python 3, and then main. So this is, so we will be building this game. So we can actually,
Oh, I've made this game in, what do you say, a code.org.
okay, okay. So yeah, so you can see that no, it you can have this sound effects, you can detect the collision, right? And you can include images as background, and then you can initiate the sound on some event also when it is hitting, right? And you can see that no, even your score is increasing, and you can actually do some variations in the game, like you increase the speed of the game. So these aliens are actually trying to invade us, and we have got this. Now you see that no, we are able to detect the game over also by once the alien actually comes inside our this thing. So this is again as part of this course, you would learn how to build this. Game development gives you a very good environment for coding because it's bound by the rules. You can learn in a very good way. No, you can practice your software development skills because you have to achieve certain tasks in the game environment. Okay, so these are basically the demos for the games, and I think that's it. That's all we wanted to cover in this demo. I hope you liked it. So how was the demo, students? Just did you enjoy, did you like the demo?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Can I
okay,
show my game now?
okay, yes, you can go ahead, and you can share your screen, and if anybody has any question about this course, about Python, or about anything related to maybe the start date or something, or the age group, you can actually feel free to ask. Okay, so you are using Turtle.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Wait, I don't think you can see the game screen. 1 second, I'll just share my whole screen.
okay.
Now can you see?
Yes. This
I'm
is
still making like the body for this snake.
okay. Okay, right. Okay, that's good. So yeah, so this, so you're trying to control this ball, right, with your arrow keys or something?
Yeah, WSD.
Okay, okay, got it. So yeah, so this is again a one of the games which we build. We call it Catch the Block, and that's what we do. Okay, so very good. Fine. So students, I think that's all, and I hope you enjoyed. And we will be sending you information about this, about the batch which we will be starting. So if you want to learn Python in a very good way, you want to master it, this is the thing, you can master it, and then you can learn this amazing skill which is Python. Going forward, it is already in a huge demand, and the demand of Python will always keep on increasing, but because we are becoming more and more technologically advanced, and any intelligence and every intelligence is through coding. So it's good idea to master this coding skill. Okay, okay, students, so that's all I have. If you have any question, I can answer. Otherwise, we will close the class. We'll end the class. Okay. So I will be sending you this recording as well. You can go over this recording, and we have this YouTube channel, Robopreneur. You can actually join that YouTube channel as well to get any updates on the new videos, or we keep on doing some small projects and we keep on posting. And then there's learning on Python as well. So you can join that group and you can learn in that through that small videos as well. Okay, so we will then end this class and have a nice Sunday, and thank you all for joining the class. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thanks a lot.